Yes, Radhika, tell me something about you.
My name is Radhika Milan Singh. I have studied Masters in Science. I am living in joint family. I have brother, mother, dad, and grandpa and grandmother. Basically, we live in joint family.
What is your qualification?
I have done Masters in Science.
Master in
Yeah,
Science.
in
Okay.
zoology.
In zoology. You are from zoology branch. So now, Radhika, tell me about something about software testing. What is software testing basically?
Software testing is a process of verification and validation in which we have to check the software and we have to check whether it is defect free and to improve its product quality.
What is defect then?
Defect is mismatch between its specification and its application. Basically, it's a deviation from expected result.
Okay.
And it also has its priority and severity. Priority is order of defect in which we have to solve, whereas severity is impact on the software, how it affect the software.
Okay. So how you will classify defects?
Means I have to tell defect life cycle.
Defect classification. How you will classify defect? Low defect.
In priority and severity, we can classify the defect according to high defect, low, and medium. In high, basically the main functionality is affected, so we have to solve it first. Then in medium, it can be resolved in after further some time, and in low, it can be solved according to the time. Means the time.
Okay. So now tell me different steps which are involved in STLC. What is STLC basically?
It is software development life cycle.
STLC, I'm talking about STLC.
Software development,
Software development or
ST,
software testing life
software testing life cycle.
Okay.
In software testing life cycle, we have various steps like requirement gathering, test plan, test strategy, test designing, environmental setup, test execution, then analysis of defect tracking, and close report basically, in which first is requirement gathering. We have to collect the basic requirement which are needed to be solved. Then in test plan, it is basically a document which consists of introduction, scope, test, features to be tested, features to be not tested. Then in test strategy, it is basically approach where the technical details are involved. And in test design, we have to execute the test script and
design we have to execute.
in test execution, we have to execute the test cases whether actual result and expected result matches or not. Then in defect tracking, we have to see whether the test case actually pass or fail. If it's fail, then we have to see its priority and severity, and then we have to conduct the report whether in which all the document it is consisted of, in which the error, then defect, how we have solved entire document it consists of, and then it is final report and end of the
Okay. So now tell me something about positive testing and
negative testing. In positive testing, we put valid input data, whereas in negative testing, we put invalid data
So
as input.
invalid data is input, which is called as
Negative testing.
And
Valid data
input
is an
as
positive testing.
So which is important? Positive testing is important for us, or negative testing is also important, or both are?
Both are important because we have to check whether the result or it is matching or not.
So we have to provide valid data as input and test the software as
Yes,
well as we have to
invalid data
as
to
input.
check.
Okay. So now, what is test scenario?
Test scenario is basically step-by-step description or instruction given to the tester
I'm
to
talking about test scenario.
Test scenario is a set of function to be tested. For example, if we are given the email ID, then we have to check whether the test case is passed or not. If we write appropriate in CC, we write appropriate everything information, and we have to check whether
Okay.
it passes or not.
So scenario, you have to tell like this: scenario is any functionality that can be
tested.
It is also called as test condition or
conditions.
test possibility. Now, what is test case?
Test case is a set of action to verify any functionality.
And what is test script then?
A test script is a step-by-step description of
Step-by-step instructions.
step-by-step instruction given to the tester to test the cases.
Okay. Now, tell me about verification and validation. What is verification and what is validation?
Verification is also known as static testing, in which all the review system is conducted. For example, requirement review, then test case review. Whereas in verification, we have to in validation we have to actually execute the test cases on software, and we have to check whether the expected result and actual result matches or not.
So in verification you do review process, right?
Yes.
And in validation
we have to actually
execute
test
the
test cases
or
on
test script on
software.
Okay. So then which one is important? Static testing is important, verification is important, or validation, or both are important?
Both are important because we have to check whether the requirement of customer is fulfilled or not in verification as we verify it. And validation is unless and until we do not execute the test case, we won't be able to understand that actually it's pass or not.
So have you heard about V model? What is V model then?
V model is basically the combination of verification and validation model, in which we have to execute verification as well as validation, which include unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. In which unit testing, smallest testable part is checked, which is also known as module. In integration testing, we have to check whether when all the modules are interconnected to each other, the error do not occupy in the interface, so that data should not lost. Then in system testing, entire system we have to check its behavior, and in acceptance whether the customer need is all fulfilled or not before sign on.
Okay. So I want some benefits of V model actually. You told me on the testing types, right?
Yeah.
Unit testing, integration. But I want benefits of V model. What are different benefits?
In all the steps, basically the tester is involved, so whenever we find any fault in that, so we can give to them, and it is basically not time consuming. We can
tester is
involved in
the
each and
early
every
stages,
stage. Right?
Okay, so that is the benefit. Verification and validation at each stage.
Each stage.
More good quality, we can say.
Yes.
Okay. So have you heard about agile software development? What is agile?
Yeah, agile is basically iterative method in software development, where
What is
all
agile?
the
Meaning of agile word. What is agile?
means I know this.
Agile is fast. Agile is rapid, right?
Yeah.
Fast development, rapid development. Okay. So have you heard about agile scrum? What are different roles which are involved in agile scrum?
Scrum or sprint, are they same?
I'm talking about agile scrum.
No,
What
I
are
know
different roles?
sprint. I know basically it is time allotted to a person to do a particular work. Then review is taken. Then meeting is held. How much tasks they have completed or what the error they are facing. Then we have to conduct the report. I know that much. Means I
Scrum
don't
master.
know.
Who is scrum master?
No, sir, I don't know.
No. Okay. So what is test plan basically?
Test plan is basically a document which consists of all the collection, requirement, introductions, features, scope to be tested, not to be tested. Then it is a document in which all the things are consisted. Means if we introduction means whatever the requirements are there, whether it is fulfilled or not, we have to check in that. Then features, then important feature, what is the functionality, all we have to check in that. Then it consists of reference from which document we have referred it. Then in that particular time is allotted to a person, and it has further step like in all the things basically tester and they are involved, so they have given a particular time. In particular time they have to fulfill all the test cases.
So you have roles and responsibilities.
Yeah, roles and
right?
responsibility
Features
given to a
be
person.
Tested, features not to be
To be
tested.
tested.
Risk and their mitigations. Okay. Important schedule is there. Okay. So Radhika, what is regression testing?
Regression testing is basically whenever there is a small change or any functionality is added or any new code is added, we have to check whether the existing software show any defect or it is working properly or not, so that we have to conduct test suits. We perform test suits basically. So in that we check whether the when we add anything, it should not affect the existing
So
software.
whenever there is new
New
enhancement,
functionality,
new code change.
yeah.
Okay, in that case you perform regression
Regression testing.
if there is any enhancements.
Enhancement.
Okay, and then what is retesting?
Retesting is basically when we find when development team said it's a defect, so it is opened by a tester, then we have to open it and we have to check whether it is actually defect or not. Then we have to
Retesting. Okay, so retesting, when you have to perform retesting, whenever there is
When
any
is a new
defect
defect,
fix,
yeah.
then you have to make sure that the fix is proper or not. In that case, you have to perform retesting.
Retesting.
Okay. So, what are different stages during the life cycle of a defect? Defect की कौन से stages है?
Basically, when defect is found, we open that defect.
Directly
The-
open without discussion with
How
development team?
we basically we discuss it with development team.
So the first
Then-
status should be new, right?
Yeah,
Then
new.
after discussion?
Then if the development team said it is a defect, then we have to open that defect. Then we have to work on that, basically work in progress. Then we have to retest it, then close this defect. If development team said it's
Retest,
invalid,
directly retest. You have to fix the defect from development team, right? Then you have
Then
to
retest
and
it,
then
close.
You have to close the defect.
Yeah.
What is deferred status of a defect?
deferred means we can solve it in next opening,
So it's
which is
enhancement, right?
yeah.
Okay. So what are different? Have you heard about waterfall model of software development, SDLC? What are different steps?
Yes. First step is requirement gathering. Second is design. Then coding, testing, deployment.
Okay. So have you heard about UAT testing? What is UAT testing?
That is user acceptance testing. We have to check whether before signing off the documents, whether all the requirements are fulfilled or not
Okay.
before sign off.
That is UAT. So who performs UAT?
Customer.
Customer performs
Basically.
UAT. Okay.
Give to customer.
What is system testing then?
System testing is basically we have to test the entire software whether it's working properly or not, its behavior, and we have to check whether all the requirements are fulfilled or not.
So regression testing is one of the system testing. Is it true or false?
True.
Yes, and it's true. Okay. And what is web testing then?
Sorry, no.
Website testing? Okay. What is security testing?
In security testing, basically it has authorization and authentication, where our data or resources should not be leaked outside. So in that
What is that authentication means?
authentication means the person who has valid input ID or password, whereas authorization means the person who has right to change or modify it.
Okay, so in authorization you check the rights of authentic
Authentic.
users. Okay. So Radhika, tell me something about suppose if you got any defect, then which steps you will perform after getting a defect?
If-
Suppose you are working on any project, you are doing any software testing part, and if you get a defect, then what steps you will follow?
First, if development team said yes, it's a defect, then we will open it. We will
So
check
first of all,
it.
you have to register the defect, right?
Yeah, register
Then
the
you have
defect.
to take a
Then
defect call with the
development
You
team.
have
Then
to
we will
discuss
open
the,
it.
Defect with
Yeah.
them. You have to discuss the severity and
Priority of defect.
Okay.
Then we will open it and we will check it. And after that, again, development team will check whether it is defect free or not. Then it will be reported.
What is that RTM basically? No idea. RTM stands for
Requirement Traceability Matrix. It is a report or collection of all the documents.
So we have to make sure that after testing, if there is any missing functionality, then we can trace that in RTM. Missing functionality means missing test case. Okay. Okay, Radhika, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.